Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And welcome back to the show. We are honored to have our next guest with us again, Randy Clark, live in the flesh here, hailing from Texas, to talk more about his company, Randy Clark and Associates, and he does hair replacement for men and women. And we're talking about amazing quality, the amazing look. It's affordable, and his staff and him have so many years of training and clearly loves what he does. I've spoken to him quite a few times already now, so I've gotten to know him. But ladies and gentlemen, for all of you that don't, go to randyclark.com. And Randy joins us live today. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Well, I have a hair replacement business I've had for 43 years, working with men and women with female and male pattern baldness.
Beautiful. And let's talk a little bit about the business. You've been in business for how many years now?
43.
So clearly well-respected, well-reputable, and you have lifelong clients. That says a lot about someone like you.
I have been very fortunate. I've got a lot of great clients who have been with me even longer than I've owned the business. They were at the business that I bought, so they've been coming longer than that.
Oh, my goodness. Well, let me ask about, you took a risk and you got into this business. And what would you say to someone out there, there's going to be growth, there's going to be failure, right? Could you share, to being an entrepreneur, could you just give us a little sense of that and maybe some advice to other entrepreneurs out there before we get started about, more specifically of what you do and the type of people you can help?
Well, I mean, I like I said, I work with men and women with female and male pattern baldness. And in this business, it's hard to get started because you really have to learn how to do it. And you have to fail first. So you have to learn the product, learn the clients, and learn how to take care of them equally. And be able to take it on the chin as far as making mistakes and accepting your faults. And I'll tell you, one thing about the clients that I've learned is that if you take responsibility for a mistake you make, they'll generally pitch in and help you with it because they love honesty. Mm-hmm. And they love people to be fair and honest with them.
Yeah. And that's obviously what you provide. So tell us a little bit about your business, where you're located exactly, and let's go over the process of someone, the requirements in a sense of what someone needs, to come in. You mentioned, a few things so far, but give us a little overview of where you are and what you're doing, Randy. Thank you.
Well, it's for men and women that have hair loss, and they have, at least for the men, it's top of the head loss, and for women, partial to full hair loss, like alopecia universalis or totalis. Have you ever heard of that? Mm-hmm. That's where universalis is where they lose all the hair on the body. Totalis is all the hair on the head. And for men, some of them live with it and accept it. For women, it's impossible. Although you see now, there's a lot of women out there that are going natural. Especially as they get older, they lose their hair from alopecia universalis or totalis. I've seen a lot of situations where they've accepted it and moved with it. It takes a very strong person to do that. But we work mostly with female pattern baldness and male pattern baldness.
Got it.
Because in this industry, there are so many different levels that you can get into. I mean, you can get into hair extensions, you can get into wigs, you can do chemotherapy. But you have to for me, I felt like I needed to focus on a particular piece of the business, because I tried to do it all at one time. And then when I came back to the center and said, I'm just going to do female and male pattern baldness. That's all I'm going to deal with. It made my life a lot simpler and a lot easier. And you can't be the jack of all trades. You need to pick your best spot. And for me, it was female and male pattern baldness, because the wigs I don't really like working with. And then the chemotherapy, that's just a temporary situation. And it was not a healthy situation for me, because most of the people that came in with the chemo were more worried about losing their hair than taking their chemo. And I felt like, it's hard to please people when they want their exact hair and you're taking stock product to make that. And so it was very disappointing to me at that level. And that's where a wig shop comes in really well. And it's actually much less expensive for the female clients.
Interesting. And let's point out, this is all real hair, right? This is not synthetic. Explain about the quality and, of course, the amazing quality control that you all do.
There are some people that do like to sell synthetic. I don't. I've never liked synthetic. It's just, it doesn't work well long term. But there are a lot of salons out there that do sell high synthetic. They're high end synthetic. But to me, after a short amount of time, it's just a fiber, so it gets drier and drier and drier, and doesn't look as natural and doesn't act as natural as real hair does. And it's just something I just never really cared for.
Got it. And we're talking all colors, right? And what about, let alone colors? And you're also doing shading, you're doing highlights, but also help me out with this. Can you specify, like, say someone naturally had a thicker types of hair, right? Like, I have very thin hair, like, and they may want a thinner hair type of piece. You know what I'm saying? Do you offer, like, do you even choose like the size of like the hair in a sense?
It's actually called the denier.
Oh.
It's how round the hair is.
Okay.
And yes, you can get different levels of thickness and finer hair.
Interesting. See, I learned something new. I do all the time. And you clearly cherish, what you do. And by the way, may I ask where you are today? I know you're in Texas. Are you on your ranch? Are you home?
I'm at the ranch.
At the ranch. Good for you. What do you have planned for Thanksgiving?
Just dinner, and then probably come back out here.
Beautiful. All right. Well, we got to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Be grateful, be thankful. And the truth is, I feel we live one life, and you want to feel good about yourself. And this is something that is so important to so many people. Hair loss is tell us about your clients that come to you, how they feel. And then the flip side, after they, work with you, and how they feel afterwards.
Well, I had a female client in this past weekend that she modeled for another prospective client, and the client that came in, she's very emotional, very distraught over her hair situation, upset by losing the person that was doing her hair, and really wasn't happy with it. But it was so blown away how emotional she was over it, because she just took it so hard with her hair loss. And she's had it for over 20 years now. But when she met the client and visited with her and saw how good her hair looked, she really came around, and she's coming back in next week to go ahead and get a fitting after the holidays. But it's always amazed to me how emotional some people are over it, because it's like their whole life.
Yeah, I know. I know this. I have friends who deal with hair loss. I told you my situation. I have hair extensions. I'm one of those insecure people that needs more hair. I feel better about myself when my hair's done right and when I have the right type of hair. It is such a personal thing. And there's also that vulnerability where you need to, trust someone. And clearly at Randy Clark at Associates, you're helping so many, and people clearly have that rapport with you. You told me in the past you've had clients for how many years now? Like repeat clients?
Over 43 years.
Wow, that is amazing. And, the process of your Dallas hair, restoration, let me just, if you don't mind, explain it for someone who's maybe new to the show today. Non-surgical, let's talk about how it works, and also about even people better off having multiple pieces, right? Could you share a little bit about the details?
Well, the multiple pieces are people that get a system every 2 to 3 or 4 months. Mm-hmm. And they're bonded. They come in every 2 to 4 weeks, depending on their scalp condition. If the dry scalp, typically can go a little longer with the glue, and they can go 3 to 4 weeks. But the average client comes in every 2 to 3 weeks and gets a new system every 2 to 3 months.
Got it.
So that's 4 to 6 systems per year, with service every 2 to 3 weeks.
Got it. And now let me ask you about the process of the adhesive. How do you know it's going to stay on? Is there different adhesives for different people? How does it breathe? Like there's different types. Could you share that too?
Well, with the a lot of the bonding today with the skin pieces and with the lace pieces is a water-based tape. I mean glue, and there's probably 10 of them out on the market, and it's a water-based, so therefore it's going to be a solid coat of glue over the top of your head. So there's not going to be any breathing, okay? But what happens is the body actually, the oils of the body break down into the glue, so it doesn't hurt the skin. And then we use mild solvents to take the glue off, so it's not harmful to the skin or anything like that. And now with the tape. The tape, you can do a perimeter tape for most people, and so the top will breathe unless they're wearing a skin piece. If they're wearing a skin piece, then it won't breathe because it's a polyurethane solid base.
Got it. Well, you know what? A lot of people, I'm sure, that see your clients don't even realize like that they have something, right? Like that's how good it is, right? For men and women. Explain that because I mean, it must make them feel so good, right? But some people are very open about it, would talk about it, but a lot of times no one even knows.
Oh, I've got female clients who don't talk to their husbands about it, and I've got male clients who don't talk to their wives about it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just, they don't even discuss what they're spending. It's not a topic.
Wow.
But to me, if I were wearing hair, I shaved my head in 1984 and wore one for a year just to see, what it's like, and it does make a person very insecure because even though I had my own hair, but I was wearing a piece, I would go buy a mirror every time I saw it to make sure my hair looked good, So it did make me aware of how they feel.
Mm-hmm, which is a beautiful thing that you did for them. Not all of us are gifted with gorgeous, thick, natural hair like you, Randy, but we appreciate you doing that. Right? And just curious, since you know about hair, right? Is it true that like it's from your mother, like genetics wise, like your hair comes from your mother's father? Like, is that even true? Something like that?
Not really. In the old days, that's what they said, that it was from your mother's side, but it can be from either side. I had a male client that had two sons, and one of them was as bald as he was, and the other one had a full head of hair. So, I mean, it just depends on which gene you get.
Got it. And let's talk about the upkeep and care for the pieces. Are we able to use regular shampoo, regular conditioner? What's expected, what's not expected? Combing, brushing. Could you share a little bit of that? Do we need special products?
You want a good quality shampoo and conditioner. It doesn't have to be, a salon brand. There's a lot of good stuff on the market, but you just want a good non-acid balanced shampoo and a good conditioner, and that's all you need. And brushes, curling irons. You can use blow dryers, whatever you want. I mean, it's just like dealing with real hair. It is real hair.
It is, exactly. Well, would you mind if I should say, I just want to read some of the things your clients have said about you. If you don't mind, Judy Terpley mentions, let me pull it up. We have stopped in Rockwall at an IHOP. A fairly young woman came to our table and asked, "Were you just on Good Morning Texas?" She said she's losing her hair on top. She's wearing a cap, and the segment has given her hope that she can restore her hair. She taped the show, said she was definitely going to call you, and I showed her and told her how wonderful you are, and then I wanted to say more. My hope was that I would inspire just one person, so I'm very thrilled. That's from a client. Mm-hmm. And then there's someone else who mentions they were a client, a member of the Hair Club for Men for a little over a year, was never really satisfied with their service. The piece was not natural as I hoped. It was uncomfortable, and the glue would become hard and brittle on my scalp. I was still self-conscious and worried that if a girl ever ran her fingers through my hair, she would immediately know I was wearing a hairpiece. So then a friend referred me to Randy Clark, and I scheduled my appointment to meet with Mr. Clark, and at the conclusion of that meeting, I knew I was in the right place. Randy Clark is one of those people who, that once you get to know him, you realize that he is all about the important stuff, the great customer service, the high quality products, integrity and trust. My hair always looks and feels great and natural. I would highly recommend Randy Clark and Associates, where everything is top notch. That's from Jay Moore. And clearly that's why you know, people keep coming back, right?
Very fortunate.
All right. Well, we are almost out of time. I know we got a late start today, unfortunately, but how did you kind of want to leave off for today's show, Randy?
Excuse me?
Oh, we're out of time. So we have 2 minutes left in the show only. What would you like to kind of leave off for your listeners today?
Just, when you're doing something like this, really check out all the, everyone go and get a good consultation and really make sure it's the right place before you pick someone like me. Mm-hmm. And if anyone out there is not in Dallas and needs help finding someone somewhere else, I'll help them with that as well.
Got it. And also, you take clients from all over. You have people that fly in out of state, so you don't have to be from Texas. And a lot of your clients do come. So that's also good to know. They can come to you and get that consultation.
Correct.
All right. Well, thanks so much. And how should we reach out to you, Randy?
972-239-0291 or Randy at randyclark.com.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. You have a fantastic day. Have a great Thanksgiving. And hopefully we'll connect again then after, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football player, game show host, father of 5, and all-around big dude. I'm also an expert on drama. I know all kinds of drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids. There's the bad kind like season-ending injuries. There's the necessary kind like having an agent in Hollywood. And there's silly drama like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your high school diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org.
Or text diploma to 97779. Message and data rates may apply. Reply STOP to opt out. That's diploma to 97779. And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.